There's another form of debt that is in focus today, and that is student debt. And that's because the Biden administration is expected to announce it is once again pushing off the moratorium ending for people having to pay down student debt. We were just talking with our Rick Newman about this issue yesterday, and Rick is with us now. Rick, you were saying yesterday he's talked a lot about the student debt problem, but he hasn't actually done anything about it. And you could probably argue this isn't really doing anything about it either. It's just delaying it.
Biden has done a couple of very small things, but he has not done the big debt forgiveness that some Democrats want to do. So let's just go to the backdrop here. So in 2020, when Congress passed the CARES Act, let's remember this was 2 years ago now, there was a delay or a moratorium on paying back student debt that went from March until September of 2020. President Trump extended that. And this will now be the fourth time that President Biden has extended that moratorium. So Congress never intended for this to last for 2.5 years, but that is what's happening now. So what that means is everybody who has federally backed student debt, you don't have to make payments and you don't have to pay interest on the money that you're not paying back. Now, presumably at some point, those payments will pick up again. So then we get to the question of will Biden or will Congress ever get into this debt cancellation? And I just don't think they will. Biden's position on debt cancellation was he favored a smaller amount than other Democrats, such as Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. He said maybe up to $10,000. But Biden wanted Congress to pass a law doing that rather than trying to use executive action. And that's where we're stuck right now. Congress cannot pass a law. Democrats don't even agree among themselves on this. So we're not going to see Congress likely to pass anything. That puts it in Biden's lap, and he has been reluctant to use executive authority on this. So his backup plan seems to be just keep delaying the deadline for these payments resuming. And it will now go into August. And my bet is there's no way that Biden's going to resume those payments in August, which is 3 months before the election. So this will probably get kicked all the way into 2023.
Rick, where do Republicans stand on this?
They've never called for student debt relief. And in fact, this is not a great idea. There are a lot of problems with it. It's a huge subsidy, or it would be a huge subsidy that would go to people who chose to go to college. And in many cases did get a college education. So many people who would get this benefit are college graduates. And a lot of analysts say, well, this is not the right way to target a giant federal subsidy. You should target it to people who might need it more. So Republicans are quite happy to just stand back. And as they have done with some other issues, just let Democrats argue among themselves. Because it just looks like Democrats promised something in the 2020 presidential campaign that they can't deliver. And on this one, Republicans are not entirely wrong.
Yeah, and it's been a successful strategy for them so far, to your point. Rick Newman, thanks so much for bringing us the latest on this.